What's up guys, Chase here with Own Boise, and today we're going to be breaking down the latest and greatest market data through the end of January 2021. Now I know this video is way too long for a lot of you and you will not watch the whole thing. Don't worry, I've got you covered. Here's the bullet points, the 3 top things you need to know from this video. Number 1 is we are super excited that inventory is actually up for the first time in 9 months. We've seen an increase in month-over-month inventory. We went from 85 listings in all of Ada County for resale homes. At the end of December, we went up to 114. So we saw an increase month-over-month. Thank goodness. If you know someone that sold their house, go pat them on the back or just put it on the market. We all owe them a big, big thank you. The second thing you need to know is, unfortunately, inventory is actually still down 70% year over year. So we have 114 listings active as of the end of January. We actually had 374 active listings the same time last year. And if you remember, go watch this video from a year ago and you'll see me saying inventory's never been lower. And now it's 70% lower than that. And then the third thing, I kind of lied to you. You're actually going to have to watch the rest of this video to see this, but I will be giving you my prediction for what's going to happen to pricing in Ada County for the next year. So if you want to know about that, watch the rest of this video. All right, thanks for sticking around and watching the rest of this video. So let's break this down real quick. So the first bullet point we gave you already was inventory is actually up. So thank goodness we're moving in the right direction. Now, what I want to make sure you understand is this is what is normal. So we normally see about the lowest amount of inventory we're going to see in the month of December and or January. It kind of bounces right off the ground about those months. And you can understand why. There's less people moving during the holidays. The weather is usually not quite as conducive to list and sell your house. Plants don't look as good, landscaping, all that stuff. So this is pretty typical. We see a bounce in inventory up. Now, if you remember, actually, if you go back and watch February's video from 2019, it was the first time ever that we've recorded these numbers where we saw inventory go down from January to February. So hopefully we don't see that this year because inventory is already so low. There's almost nowhere else for it to go, right? We hit 85 homes in all of Ada County for the resale market. Now the new construction side, there was 280 homes. And actually now at the end of January, there's only 200. So that's even getting driven down quite a bit as well. So that's what's happening in terms of month-over-month inventory. It's totally normal, and I'm hoping we see the same thing as we go into February. And if we do, that's when we should see that upward trend in inventory. So if you're a buyer right now and you're looking for that dream home, hang tight. We should be coming into some more inventory over the coming months. Now, inventory's down year over year 70%. That was the second bullet point we talked about. 114 homes, guys, is not enough homes to service the demand just for local buyers and sellers. Now, we don't have just local buyers here, right? We have a lot of people that want to enjoy this beautiful state that if you live here, that you live at. They want to be here just like you want to be here. And so the demand is absolutely through the roof. In fact, I'm looking at the numbers here. We have 3 days of supply or less under 400 grand. From 400 to 500 grand, we have 6 days of supply. From 500 to 600 grand, we have 3 days. From 600 to 800 grand, we have 9 days of supply. And just so you can wrap your head around that, if we had no new listings in the next 9 days, we'd have 0 listings. So that's what I mean by days of supply. And in fact, you have to go all the way up to 800 to 1 million, and you get 15 days of supply. And if you go up to 1 million, you get 1 month. Now, if you go watch some of these videos I did way back in the day, you'll see over 1 million, we used to have 12, 15 months of supply. And it is just absolutely incredible what's happening to your area that you live if you are from Boise and live here. Now, if you're looking to move into this area, that's why you want to know my price prediction. And these data points I'm giving you right now, they lead into my price prediction for the year. So I just want to recap what we've seen the last 5 or 6 years. Excuse me. So in 2017, we saw a 9.2% appreciation on pricing. In 2018, we saw 17% appreciation on pricing. 2019 was 11.5%. 2020 was 18%. Now, at some point, it just cannot keep going up at the level it's going up, but there's never, ever been more pressure on pricing than there is right now. So what could slow this down? Let's talk about that first, and then I'll get into my prediction. Well, there's only a couple things that could slow this down, one of which would be inventory levels increasing. Well, how does inventory levels increase? Well, you have to have less demand. So we would have to have less people that want to live here. I don't see that happening anytime soon. However, those people that are moving here are typically selling something else. So in the event they weren't able to sell their home wherever they're coming from, whether it's California is one of the most popular states we get people from, or Oregon or Colorado or Washington, if it's any of those locations, if for whatever reason their market slowed down, that could ultimately have an impact on our demand here. We saw that happen in 07. In fact, in 07, California was really struggling, and we were in Boise and we were saying, hey, well, everyone wants to live here, so it's not going to come to us. And then, of course, 6 months later, boom, it hit us like a hammer. And those of you that were around and paying attention to real estate, you know exactly what I'm talking about. We saw it coming and we didn't think it would come, and it totally came. So that's one thing, is what's going to happen in their markets, those markets that are driving ours. The second thing is going to be interest rates. So interest rates are key. And now the Federal Reserve says they're going to maintain interest rates at these low levels, the federal funds rate, as long as they can. 2023 is kind of their target date. But that doesn't mean that interest rates on mortgages couldn't potentially tick up. There's a number of reasons that those interest rates could tick up. Keep an eye on them. Right now, a 30-year fixed is about 2.75% to 3%, which is insane. That is insanely low. Even if they went up to 3.5% or 4%, the affordability is still good. And if we were worried they were going to keep going up, you might even see people panic buying. So again, that could take some time. The last thing is this moratorium on foreclosures. It was all the way through the end of the year, and then it got extended with new stimulus, Band-Aid or whatever they did at the end of the year there to keep that going. I don't know the exact dates. I'll have to get back to you maybe on the next video. But there is this thought that there's a lot of people are going to have trouble getting caught up in their mortgage. Now, banks are much smarter today than they were back in 07, 08 with how to handle a crisis like this. So I don't see them flooding the market with inventory. So my price prediction here for the Boise area is we are definitely going to see appreciation. I said that we'd probably be somewhere between 5 and 7% by May. That might have been too conservative. I mean, this year, I don't think we're going to be 18% like we did last year. I think we're going to be somewhere in that 12 to 15% appreciation. So far, year to date, we've seen 1.5%. So if you did that times 12, that's pacing 18%. I don't think it's going to do that all year. It certainly could. If we don't see some sort of cool down, it certainly could be that high or even higher. It's just hard to even wrap your mind around being able to sell homes at that high of prices forever. It just cannot happen. So in the short term, the next 12 months, prices are going to go up. So if you are a buyer in this market, you probably want to do something sooner than later. Now you might be thinking, Chase, I've been trying to do something. That's the problem, right? Like I've made offers and there's 20 offers, et cetera, et cetera. Well, that brings me to my last point. There has never been a market where it's more important that you have an agent that knows what they're doing. So I'm going to go over some questions you might ask, and I'm going to show you a little bit about our team versus the MLS for listing homes, and obviously on the pricing and negotiation side. There are so many different ways to get your offer accepted that you need to be aware of. And if you're, dealing with a part-time real estate professional as a part-time agent that doesn't deal with that negotiation every day, they might be learning on your American dream, right? They might be learning through your process. So learning on your behalf. And I guess I don't want that to happen to a lot of you people out there who are really just dying to get into a home. You need someone that knows what they're doing. So on the buyer's agent side, I would ask them, how many homes have you sold in the last 12 months? That's a really, really important measure of how well they understand this market. Everyone knows a real estate agent. Let's just face it. You know someone, you might even be married to one. I have no idea, but everyone knows one. You need to understand that not all agents are created equal. So these questions I'm going to give you are going to help you understand if you're dealing with someone that can help you out. And if you're a buyer, in the past it would be easy. You just say, well, they're a friend and we're buying anyways and we'll only buy what we want. Well, hold up. There's so little inventory out there. If they don't know how to help you set your offer apart, you might miss out on the home you want to buy, or 5 of them, or 20 of them. You need to have someone that knows how to navigate that multiple offer process and get your offer accepted and help you stand apart from the crowd. So that's just on the buyer side. Now I'm going to show you some numbers here. I'm going to pop them up on the screen here. In fact, I'll do that right now. And I want you to take a look at a few of these numbers and just understand exactly where we're at least if you were to interview our team, versus the MLS. So the average agent in the Boise area sold 5.7 homes per month. Last year, our team helped 225 people buy and sell properties. So we have the experience, especially in terms of negotiation. We did 39 times more than the average agent. The other thing is, when we're listing a home, the MLS gets 91% of the listings actually sell. And you're thinking, only 91%? In this market, everything's selling. But the reality is everything doesn't sell. And last year, our team sold 97% of the homes we listed. The average days on market for the MLS was 29 days. And for Own Boise, at Keller Williams Realty Boise, our average days on market was 23. So we're getting them sold faster. And this one is the kicker. Us pulling the information right out of the multiple listing service for the average real estate agent that you hire, you're going to get 88% of the original listing price versus the actual sold price. So let me just make sure you understand the math. If the average price was $427,000, you're going to get 88% of that. Whereas on our team, we got our clients 101.5% in 2020, which on the average home price was $57,000 more than they would have got by hiring the average real estate agent out of the MLS. So if you don't think it matters on who you hire, read through this data, because not everyone was even average. I'm sure some agents got significantly less. So if you're hiring an agent just because they tell you they can get you XYZ price, or you're hiring an agent because you don't think it matters, it matters. Do yourself a favor, interview a few agents before you choose one to list and sell your property. You won't regret it. And ask them these questions. What was their original asking price to the sold price? And if they don't know, have them go find out before you choose to hire them. Guys, I thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. It does make a difference on who you work with, and we appreciate each and every one of you out there that have given us the opportunity to help you achieve the American dream of homeownership, and we look forward to continuing to do it for years to come. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have questions on this, please reach out to your Own Boise agent at Keller Williams, or you can comment on the video. We'd love to help out in any way that we can. And you guys have an amazing month. I'll see you next month.